welcome to our live show, Pittsburgh Sportsline in the BPTV studio, right here in Bethel Park. Thanks for watching us tonight. We appreciate it. We hear the weather's going to change, so it's been nice, hot, humid day, nice summer day. We're supposed to get a thunderstorm or two, so just keep watching us for the next hour and you can see what happens there, but we'll see. I'm Al Levine, the Talking Machine. Chip Hayner's here. Smoking Jim Frazier, a.k.a. Stevie Wonder, is still here, even though he tells me that he looks like Muhammad Ali with the sunglasses. I said, just Google Stevie Wonder. You're a spitting image for Stevie Wonder. You both got nice smiles. And I don't know how he talks about sports, but you got everybody beat on that, buddy. All right, we got some promos here. First of all, thanks to Olive Oil's Pizzeria. Thanks for the great camera work. We got Steve Fisher, formerly Rookie of the Year, now in his second year here at BPTV. Call 412-831-1900. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, right here at Hillcrest Shopping Center. When I got the pizza and hoagie, it started to drizzle, so I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. Next up, we end each show with Stay Joey Strong. Poor Joey Fabus didn't make it to his 9th birthday, and he had dreaded brain cancer, DIPG, took his life, and it's a death sentence for all these poor kids. His family's been pitching in, and they do great things in the area. They've raised over $100,000 to try to find a cure for DIPG. Check out their Facebook page, their website. They have lots of events coming up. They're going to have a 5K 1-mile walk in September. We've been filming that for 4 years, so we'll see what happens this year with all the superheroes running. Check that out. Next up, another 501c3, the Bethel Park Historical Society, 2600 South Park Road. It's an old schoolhouse, over 100 years old. They've been refurbishing it. They got a $1 million project. They're working on an auditorium now there to bring that up to speed. They rent it out for businesses, different events. And they also have my new little stomping ground for green tea, Reginald's Coffee. Check it out. They have great green tea, and their coffee's supposed to be great. And every so often they have different treats to eat, and things like that. So check it out, Reginald's Coffee. Next up, Dave Cable likes to have a little fun at my expense. Put my face on Uncle Sam. Tell them Uncle Al sent you. I'm the producer and host of BPTV's Pittsburgh Sportsline. Give Dave Cable a call. Say you want to be like Steve Fisher. 412-831-3304. You can be a volunteer and help out here. Run cameras, audio, video. Even go on location when we do shows outside the studio. Check out the nice fireworks that Steve here recorded during the 4th of July on the 30th. It was my birthday, so I couldn't make it to the show. Officially my birthday, Smoking Jim. At least that's what my kids told me. They go, we've been celebrating that every year. I said, you know, Smoking Jim thinks it's in October? They go, which sweetie told him that? If you need money, the Bethel Park Community Foundation has it, from $100 to $5,000 for your group or organization in Bethel Park with the good things you're doing. They have grant requests. You can get an application and apply. I'm one of the trustees on the board. Tell them you heard about it on Pittsburgh Sportsline and come on out. Ask for some money for your group. We have it. We've given out over $100,000 last year. We're on pace to do it again this year, so come and apply. That's all I got for the promos. We're also sponsored by Skeets Lewandowski of Skeets Service Station. He sponsors What's on Your Mind? And that's the first question we started the day. Anything and everything that runs on gas. They even have a Pittsburgh drive shaft. I saw the first drive shaft come in last week. So they can do all kind of work on your car. They got a forge, they got a milling, they got a press to make different things. They got tons of stuff. Give them a call, 724-348-4715. On Mondays, they have a little smorgasbord and donuts, so check it out. You got to check it out there. And If you need any work done on lawnmowers, weed whackers, boats, cars, trucks, campers, you name it, they'll work on it. Give Skeets a call. Smoking Jim Frazier, what's on your mind?
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. And if you want the green,
Don't break it.
you got to see Levine. Back in my high school quarterback option days.
What year was that?
Hey, I'm disappointed in Kevin Durant.
Why?
I've never seen a superstar that has rabbit ears like him, so sensitive. This guy was on his way to being one of the all-time legendary basketball players. Disappointed in Golden State. They're going to retire his jersey. He only played there 3 years.
That's enough.
You know, he opts out to go to Brooklyn with Jay-Z and Kyrie Irving. They're friends now, him and Kyrie, but they'll hate each other.
Well, he's not going to play for a year, so he'll have time to adjust.
Yeah. And, but a shout-out to Stefan Curry, because this guy sacrificed for Kevin Durant to let him be the star, and he backstabbed everybody in the back and left. But, hey, I think you guys will all agree with me that one of the most overrated things in all the sports, including soccer, is the home run. Listen, Adam Frazier went 5 for 6 with 4 doubles, but all they're talking about is Josh Bell's home run, 3 home runs. I think a record-tying 4 doubles, in my opinion, is much more impressive than that. Hey, listen, that's the reason why, because the home run, first of all, you got a guy who's basically a designated hitter hitting home runs. Any overweight, out-of-shape softball player can play first base. But that's the reason why Barry Bonds got to lifting weights, got on protein and vitamins, and
steroids,
and became a Build-A-Bear beast, and started hitting home runs, because this country, for some reason, loves the home runs. This is so overrated. Listen, Hank Aaron wasn't anywhere near as good as Willie Mays, but everybody talks about because he had 700 home runs. So what? Willie Mays had to play in Yellowstone Park in the wind, a Candlestick Park. Would have had 800 home runs if he played anywhere else. I love Sammy Sosa and I love Mark McGwire, but they're not Hall of Famers. The most overrated thing in baseball, and I love it too.
Love what?
Is the home run. And it's the reason, the uneven ball fields. Willie Stargel had to play in Forbes Field. How can you hit it out of there? Willie Mays had to play in Candlestick Park. That's the reason why I gave up baseball after Pony League. And that's what's on my mind.
I don't believe you.
If I may shoot a few holes in some of your theories, simply put, the ladies love the long ball.
Yeah. True.
Okay? And by the way, 4 doubles and a single, 2 RBIs. Josh Bell, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs. Now, which one are you going to make a big deal about?
I like my doubles.
Little bit of history, Smoking Jim Frazier. You're a big baseball fan, as we all don't know it. Babe Ruth in his last game at Forbes Field, 3 home runs, 1 over the roof
Josh Bell
of
ain't no
Forbes
Babe
Field.
Ruth. He ain't no Babe Ruth.
Wait, 3 home runs and he was old.
Also don't know about Forbes Field was Forbes Field had a short right field porch.
And they
Favored
had the wall.
left-handed.
How about that wall they had out there? I heard about.
How about the roof he hit the last one over?
It favored a left-handed batter because there was a short porch.
And
pretty much like PNC Park.
And Josh Bell left-handed?
He's a switch hitter. He's the first switch hitter in Pirates history to hit 3 home runs in a game.
Left-handed.
He's a switch hitter.
Short porch.
Yeah.
Next up.
Thank you, Smoking Jim. We appreciate your wisdom, and it finally come out. You love baseball and you quit it because of the home run. What the heck? I can't believe it. There's still no record that he was a pitcher in Pony League. We're still researching that. I've contacted 500 people. Nobody remembers that.
Blue.
That was on TV. All right. Chip Hayner, what's on your mind?
Oh, thank you, Alan. And what's on my mind? I guess it is the long ball, because something else that Josh Bell did last night. Do you know what the Pirates' single-season record is for home runs?
I'll say 43 maybe.
No. It was set in 1949, and Ralph Kiner hit 54 home runs that year, 1949.
Wow, that's a lot.
49.
That's a lot.
And he hit his 25th home run in the 84th game of the season. Josh Bell hit his 25th home run in the 83rd game of the season. Do you see why they're making a big deal about it? He's the first switch hitter to ever hit a home run. But we'll talk Bucko talk later.
Yeah.
A lot of good things to talk about happening down at PNC Park. And I'm telling you now, people, buy your tickets. It's going to be a great second half of the season. The Pirates are one of the top hitting teams in the league, and nobody saw this coming. Everybody thought the Pirates' pitching was going to be their strength this year.
Yep.
And it looks like it's the bats. So, but what's on my mind is a great day for the U.S. women's soccer team. They beat the Lionesses. They beat England 2-1 to make it to the Women's World Cup final, which will be played, I believe, this weekend.
Sunday.
With the against the winner of Sweden and the Netherlands, which will be played tomorrow. So the American women have not been behind once this whole tournament. They beat the English team 2-1 today, thanks to Alex Morgan, who scored a goal and helped prevent a goal on a penalty kick. And just watching the talent that these women have, I watched one of the American girls dribble the ball with her feet and snuck it between the legs of the defender and went around her. And it reminded me of the great Curly Neal, the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
How he used to be able to run up and down the court, nobody could put a hand on him. Yeah, it was magic
skills
at its best. But the Women's World Cup, I am not much of a fan of soccer, but I'm all about the USA. And when the men's team is in the World Cup, I root for the USA men's soccer team. When the women's team's in the World Cup, I'm rooting for the women's soccer team. So I'll be rooting for the USA to bring home the gold for the fourth time.
Wow.
For the fourth time. Also, there's been a lot of goings-on in some of the other sports that we don't usually talk a lot about at this time of the year. The NBA free agent circus is in full effect.
Yeah.
And it amazes me that the Brooklyn Nets are willing to pay Kevin Durant $41 million to not play next year. Yeah, you give him 4 years, $164 million.
Can't beat that.
And you show me the dotted line. I'm signing on that one. The Pittsburgh Penguins made a big change.
They did.
Jim Rutherford was adamant about changing the culture because he felt that the team had become complacent.
Sure.
Some players got a little bit too comfortable, and the victim of the purge was Phil Kessel.
Yeah.
And once again, here's a Pittsburgh sports team that's getting rid of one of its big stars, and I think the team's going to be better for it.
Sure.
Just like I do believe that the Steelers will be a better team this year than they were last year with AB without him. So you heard it from me here, and I believe the Penguins are going to be better without Phil Kessel than they were with him last year. They'll have much more unity, and more importantly, they're going to have players on the team that the coach can actually coach.
Well, they're going to be faster, too.
Well, when a player will not change the style of his game to suit the way the coach wants the game played, one of two things has to happen. Either the coach has to go or the player has to go. And apparently, the money's all in on Mike Sullivan. He stayed.
Sure.
Okay. And
well, this is a cap move, too, and they wanted to get rid of him. He averaged a point a game.
He averaged a point
which really
a game.
isn't bad, but he had a lot of unproductive time.
But they were not as good of a team as they were in 16 and 17. And,
Right.
sometimes you have to shake things up to get some response. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with the Penguins. They've made, some they made a free agent signing yesterday. They probably overpaid for Tanev, who they picked up off of the Winnipeg Jets, I believe. But
when do you hear of a 6-year deal?
6-year deal, $21 million. They probably overpaid for him, but to get the type of player that they wanted, and they desperately wanted this young man,
Sure.
you got to overpay for him if you want to get him on July 1. That's what Jim Rutherford
Yeah.
said. So
You got to give the Penguins credit. They do spend the money
they do spend the money
because
and
they want to win,
one thing
unlike
Jim
some other
Rutherford-
teams.
One thing, like Jim Rutherford said, he has always managed to get rid of these contracts that are a burden to him.
Yeah.
And now that is the Phoenix Coyotes' problem. But a lot of things going on in sports, a lot of things to look forward to for the rest of the summer here, especially down at PNC Park. That's what's on my mind right
Can
now.
I say one thing before we go to L. Levine, the talking machine?
Go ahead, Smoking.
How the Penguins been doing without Fleury? You talk about all
What
these
changed?
Great, you talk
What
about all
changed
these-
since the end of the
You talk
season?
about all these great players that they got rid of and how they improved. Listen, the problem, I've been saying it all along, is with the coach. I don't care how many Stanley Cups he got. He's overstayed his welcome. And this team got a 2-year window, and I don't see them ever winning again. You got to agree with that. The window's closing. Don't you agree?
No. And you know what else I don't agree with? How many championships has Marc-Andre Fleury brought to the Las Vegas Knights? That's what I thought.
Thank you, Smoking Jim Frazier. On a little side note, I broke down and I watched soccer today for 10 minutes,
No.
Chip. I saw the last 10 minutes of the game, and nobody scored, but we won. So I
Tell you
saw
what,
the
though,
replays.
you watch
There
the
was
whole
some good
game,
playing.
The whole soccer game is less than 2 hours.
Right.
I mean, it beats football because that's 3 to 4 hours. It beats baseball, which can anywhere
it's
from
close.
3
Yeah.
to 6 hours, depending.
Yeah, it depends. Well, thank you, Chip. I appreciate that. What's on my mind is I'm going to go on the Bell bandwagon. So many people, he's a young man. He worked hard in the offseason, studied a lot of video. We got a new batting coach, Eckstein, and he seems to be doing something well with the whole team because we're hearing good things. We were supposed to have great pitching, but something happened to every one of our pitchers. Ray Searage has worked miracles with many pitchers over the years, but this year they're all injured. So somebody had to do something, so Eckstein came through. Josh Bell only hit .208 in the month of June, but how did he maintain? He's leading the league in RBIs, extra base hits. He's on a record pace that only a few Hall of Famers have ever done in their career. And what is he, 24 years old? Only been in the league 2 years? So, I mean, this is amazing. And then, I don't care what Smoking Jim talks about a designated hitter. The National League doesn't have one, but we're playing in an American League ballpark. We got to have one. Guess what? They called this young man up and said, "You're our designated hitting starter in the All-Star game." What an honor for a guy. This is his first time on the All-Star team. You got to embrace what a great guy he is, and he's just producing out there. And last night when he had the 3 home runs, how can you go wrong with that? And Chip brought up 7 RBIs. I know Smoking Jim has trouble digesting the RBI thing, but that means that he knocked in a lot of runs. And that's how simple it is. If you're producing for a team, that's what we want to see. I don't care if Bottom Line Bob owns the team and gets rid of players every 3-4 years. It's fun watching baseball where the team doesn't quit.
Yeah.
And that's what I enjoy, and I've been saying that each week of the year. And, I predicted they'd win somewhere in the 80s. I know Smoking Jim's betting on under 78. So he's still happy, but it's getting a little nerve-wracking as we get down this, see what happens during these next few games before the All-Star game. So congrats to Josh Bell. Keep doing what you're doing. And actually the pitchers are trying to pitch around him. They're throwing a lot of balls away from the plate, and it's very frustrating for him. He's walking and missing some of these pitches. So for him to get 3 home runs like that, they were throwing the ball. He hit it, Smoking Jim.
Can I ask you one
Out
question?
of the park. You
Mr.
can ask 2 questions. Go ahead.
Just one question. I really
Because your
don't know-
birthday's coming up, so
Yeah.
I'll give you a bonus.
I really don't know the answer to this, but what's the Pirates' record?
I don't know.
Do you know?
40 and 43, Jim.
Ain't bad. Ain't bad.
No,
Compared to what?
considering when we were here last week, they were 30 and 38. Correct? We're getting off
Smoking
the-
Jim is not mic'd. You want to ask that question again, Smoking Jim?
No, I think
Because
I heard.
I like when you play a lawyer and ask a question you know the answer
No,
to.
I didn't. I really didn't.
Oh, then you're just playing dumb.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh, either one.
Do you know what the Pirates' record is in their last 15 games?
No, I have no idea.
10-5.
Ain't bad. Ain't bad.
And your point to all this.
No, I was just asking.
I didn't know if you had a point.
No, I was just asking the information.
That's why it's so great to have Stevie Wonder back, seeing all kind of things. And we're going to move on. We're going to come back with Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac.
Thanks, Al Levine, the talking machine. Thanks, Chip Hayner. Thanks to Rookie of the Year, Steve Fisher, in the house. But, hey, Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac. My freshman year, there was a guy that came to our school that I never heard of, but there was a buzz in the black community. And wasn't that many black folks at KLU.
How'd you bring the race out?
Yeah.
My man, you waited 25 minutes on the show. That's the longest you ever waited to pull the race card out.
But this guy was by the name of Dick Gregory. The late, great Dick Gregory came to the school. I never heard of him, but I went to the auditorium to hear him speak. Spoke for 3 hours, Al Levine, the talking machine. And something I didn't know, I was one and done going there, but there was a black house on campus. The Black League had a house, and it was like a social. The brothers and sisters hung out there.
I guess you never went there.
No, I went there once when Dick Gregory went to do a after talk there.
You wanted to listen to more.
I would listen to more. He spoke another 3 hours, and that was just incredible to me. And anybody that knows Dick Gregory, Al Levine, the talking machine, he would have been a great guest when he was living on your health show, because he had several 40-day fasts where he only drank water.
Sure.
And what most people don't know is in 1992, because of his nutritional diet and advice, he worked with Riddick Bowe and helped him become world champion. If you remember, Riddick Bowe used to run out of gas like Keontae Irving.
Sure.
Maybe Dick Gregory started working with Keontae Irving before he passed. But Riddick Bowe, after that, had a lot of energy and stuff like that until he started fighting Andrew Galata. And Andrew Galata took the energy right out of him. But
that'll happen.
Yeah, low blows will do that.
Low blows will do that. So that's the Fiction and Fact from Smokin' Jim's Almanac. A great guy like Dick Gregory, who I never heard of, spoke. Most people come there, they may speak 45 minutes. He spoke for 6 hours at a little small school at KLU.
Get on.
And that's what's on my mind.
Wow. Who's the shout out?
That was it. I gave you a shout out for your health show.
Oh.
Dick Gregory has been a good guest on there.
Yeah, thank
Since
you.
Dick Gregory passed away, maybe I can be a guest on your health show. My baking soda water.
Well, Bethany's been too busy, so we haven't done a show lately. So I don't know when we'll revive it, but we'll keep you in mind, Stevie.
Would you like me to come on there with my baking soda water?
No, because you can't really talk too much about healthy things. Sorry, buddy. But thanks for the shout out. That was nice. We appreciate you, Smokin' Jim Frazier.
Thank you, everybody. And I happen to be rocking the Independence Day hat for
Look at that beautiful
Pittsburgh
hat.
Pirates for 2019. Getting ready to celebrate the 4th of July. And what I thought I would do, I'm going to go over the top 10 Pirates of all time. And this was a list that was printed back in 2016. Okay, so at the time it was the 130th season of the Pittsburgh Baseball Club, and frankly, nothing has changed since the last time you checked any compilation of the top 10 Pirates of all time. So we're going to go right to the top to the list. We're going to start at number 10, and notice when I give you a list of 10, there's going to be 10. There's no 10 A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z, and so on and so
I can't wait, Chip.
Bill Mazeroski, number 10. Few athletes have become as synonymous with a single moment as Maz with 3:36 p.m. October 13th, 1960. The moment he hit the only home run to end Game 7 in a World Series. But Maz was more, as he was the definition of second baseman in the 50s and 60s. He won 8 Gold Gloves. He made 7 All-Star teams. He took part in more double plays than any player in history, 1,706, where hitters came out before games to watch the likes of Ruth, McGuire, and Kiner take batting practice. Maz, as his peers, came out early to watch him take infield.
Wow.
The finest hands of any second baseman I ever played with or watched, said contemporary Glenn Beckert. I learned how to make the double play through him, said another, Cookie Rojas.
Can I say one thing before you go on, Chip? Is it true that the Yankees was up 3-1 in 1960 before the Pirates came back?
I'm not sure about
Yeah,
that.
I'm not
But
sure.
they
I know that every
they
single game
outscored the Pirates, like,
every single game the Pirates won, they won by 1 run.
and they outscored us by a tremendous amount of runs.
Yankees was up 3-1 and Pirates came back.
And how many runs did they score more than us?
So, Bill Mazeroski,
Smoked it.
17 seasons, played in 2,163 games, 2,016 hits, 138 home runs. In his career batting average, 260. Next up on our list, Wilbur Cooper.
Never heard of him.
Played from 1912 to 1924. On a
Before you
franchise
were
not
born.
known for great pitchers, Cooper, a 5'11 left-hander with pinpoint control, stands out in an era that included Christy Matheson, Grover Cleveland Alexander,
Wow.
Walter Johnson. Legendary sports writer Grantland Rice once proclaimed him the greatest pitcher in organized baseball.
Wow.
4 times he won 20 games. And by the time he was traded to the Chicago Cubs late in 1920, he'd won a club record 202 games.
Wow.
A mark that 92 seasons later still stands.
Really?
There you go.
Wow.
Wilbur Cooper, number 9. Number 8, manager and left fielder from 1900 to 1915, Fred Clark.
Never heard of him.
Some would argue that if any manager wants to be included here, it should have been Danny Murtaugh. I personally feel that. He won 2 of the Pirates' 5 World Championships.
Whoa, the
But
lights
for
flickered.
as good as Murtaugh was, 1,115 wins, 2 World Series titles, he couldn't claim that one argument-ending distinction that separates Clark. He is the only man in franchise history to rank in its top 10 in wins and hits. What's more, he compiled the majority of both concurrently as a player-manager. Still not impressed? He presided over the greatest decade in team history, 1901 to 1910, a decade in which his teams won 4 National League pennants, played in 2 World Series, won 1, and went 945 and 545, a 645 winning percentage.
Wow.
That's impressive.
And the lights are flickering. Fans,
Well,
we don't know if there's a storm going on, but I would think there is.
Number 7, shortstop, Arkey Vaughan.
Never heard of him.
I heard of him,
1932
too.
to
I heard of him also.
1941. Had he played for any other franchise, it's possible Vaughan would be more highly regarded in baseball history. But because he played in Pittsburgh at the same position as the immortal Honus Wagner, his is sometimes forgotten name when talking all-timers. Such was the fate. He hit .324 in 10 seasons with the Pirates and .318 in 14 seasons overall. In both instances, those numbers are better than any shortstop ever play, but for one, and that was Honus Wagner. Yet for his era, Vaughan was without peer. He made 9 consecutive All-Star teams, twice finished in the top 3 in the MVP voting, and won the National League batting title in 1935 with a .385 batting average.
Wow.
What did he hit for 10 years? What was that? 3 what? Chipper?
Over a 10-year period, he hit .324.
Man.
Number 6. Pie Trainer, third baseman,
Oh, yeah.
1920.
I met him.
1920
I
to
met Pie
1937.
Really?
Yeah.
10 times he batted .300, including .366 in 1930. He knocked in 1,273 runs. Over his career, .346 to help the Pirates beat Walter Johnson and the Washington Senators in a 7-game World Series in 1925. Defensively, he was even better, like looking over Da Vinci's shoulder, wrote columnist Red Smith. But Trainer may have been the best appreciated when seen through the light of three facts. He was the first third baseman elected to the Hall of Fame, and still one of only 5 to be voted in by the Baseball Writers Association. He was the third baseman on the Major League Baseball's all-time team, announced in 1969 to coincide with the game's centennial. And finally, more than 6 decades after he retired, and more than 3 decades after he died, enough was still thought of his skills that he was one of 6 third basemen on Major League Baseball's all-century team ballot in 1999.
Can I say one thing, Chipper, before you go on? You've been through half the list, and it's so impressive, but you could have probably started off each paragraph with the home run is overrated. Don't you agree?
No.
Okay.
Next up, Paul Wainer, right fielder, 1926 to 1940. Famously known as Big Poison to younger brother Lloyd's Little Poison.
Wow.
Through much of the 20s and 30s, he was the most menacing of the two. He sprayed line drives to all corners of Forbes Field, hit 350 or more times 5 than he hit under 302.
Wow.
Won 3 National League batting titles, and one of the greatest single seasons in franchise history, won the National League MVP in 1927 by hitting 380 with 42 doubles, 18 triples, 9 home runs, 131 RBIs, and 342 total bases. And he did it while standing all of 5'8".
Wow.
This man was Big Poison. According to a story written as part of the Society of American Baseball Research, the little punk don't even know how to put on a uniform after the Pirates and the Giants squared off for the first time in 1926. Now, do you know the interesting thing about the season that he had in 1927? That was a year that the Pirates made it to the World Series. And they got swept in the World Series
Yankees.
by one of the greatest teams ever in history.
Murderers
the
Row.
Murderers Row of the New York Yankees. So there's that. Number 4. We're getting down to the final 4. Pops. Willie Stargel. I know Jim's heard of Big Willie.
How could he be up there and hit a little poison and Big Poison?
You'll find out. His career was one of 2 acts. The first is a raw slugger out of Bernard Malmuid novel. The second, an elder statements we remember as Pops. In both, he was larger than life, each and every bit as large as the nearly half dozen stadiums in which he at one time owned the longest home run on record at 6
did you
feet
say?
4. Yeah, I said, yeah. Ladies love the long ball, Jim.
Longest home run.
He didn't
6 ballparks.
At 6'4",
He didn't stutter.
225 pounds, he didn't just hit pitchers, he took away their dignity,
Yes, sir.
said Hall of Fame pitcher Don Sutton. His 475 home runs, 1,560 RBIs, 953 extra base hits are all franchise record. Wow. At the peak of his career from 1970 to 73, averaged 39 home runs and 110 RBIs per season. 1979 was was the crowning moment of his career, where he became a member of the 2-time. Roberto Clemente won 2 World Series titles. Willie Stargel won 2 as well.
Designated hitter.
He was the MVP and also tied for the league MVP that year. Of the 18 home runs hit over the right field roof in the 61 hit history of Forbes Field, 7 of them belonged to Willie Stargel. Wow.
Chicken on the heel with Will.
Yes, they did. Man.
Yeah, they had a bunch of them.
There was some fighting over that free bird, Number 3, another Hall of Famer, Ralph Kiner, left field, 1946 to 1952.
What's he known for?
The long ball. No slugger ever so captivated the Pittsburgh as did the right-handed swinger from California. How else does one explain the fact that from 1946 to 52, Kiner's 7 full seasons in a Pirates uniform, a franchise that had never drawn more than 869,720 fans at any season, 4 times topped 1.1 million. I guess that was to see him hit home runs.
Great point, Chipper. Girls and others do
This,
like the long
despite
ball.
finishing a combined 193 games under 500.
Wow.
The only logical answer, Kiner. He hit home runs over those 7 seasons and part of 1953 at a pace unseen before or since. Won every 13 at-bats.
Wow.
He led the National League in each of his 7 seasons, still a Major League record. Twice topped 50, and in 1949 set the Pirates record with 54.
I just have one question for Smoking Jim.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did hear it.
Okay. I'm not asking for your opinion because it won't make sense.
Next up, and I would have to tend to agree with this. Number 2 on our list would be the great one, Roberto Clemente.
Come on.
Number 21 played for the Pirates from 1955 to 72. Nearly 20,000 men have played professional baseball over the past century plus. Few turned it into a living art form that Clemente did for 18 summers. From right field at Forbes Field and then Three Rivers Stadium. He was power and style and grace, played a kind of baseball that none of us has ever seen before, throwing and running and hitting at something close to the level of absolute perfection. Wrote Hall of Fame baseball writer Roger Angell. He's a .317 career hitter and the only man to collect 3,000 hits in a Pirates uniform. He was a 4-time National League batting champion, 1966 National League MVP, and 12-time Gold Glove winner who could field the ball in New York and throw out a guy in Pennsylvania, as legendary Vin Scully once said. He was at once a baseball god of a generation and at the same time a simple, proud man who ultimately gave his life for others. He was, without question, the great one.
Can I say something real quick?
Sure.
How can you want to retire this black man's number when he ain't even the number 1 Pirate of all time? Case closed on that.
Easy. He's still a legend.
Yeah, but you can't retire 21 throughout the league.
Yes, you
got-
can. Why?
got
Jackie
one black.
Robinson
You got one
didn't
black
lead the
already.
league in
Yeah,
everything.
okay,
and
wait a second.
Lead his
Now,
team.
to argue your point,
Yeah,
why does Jackie Robinson deserve to have his number retired?
they're both black.
No,
Jackie was the
one
first
was
black.
Latin American and one was African American.
We consider both of them black.
Okay.
You could have Rodriguez, Alex Rodriguez. Y'all could have him.
No, but the fact of the matter, Jackie Robinson wasn't the greatest African American player to ever play the game.
He was the first.
He wasn't the best.
He's a Hall of Famer.
So's Willie Mays, and he was the best.
Good point.
Number 1 on the list, Honus Wagner, 1900 to 1917. None other than Babe Ruth called him the greatest right-handed hitter in baseball history.
Wow.
Nearly a century after his final game, BaseballReference.com still ranks him number 10 all-time in wins above replacement, a sabermetric formula for measuring a player's worth, but most fans don't need such 21st century tools to understand his worth. From 1900 to 1970, he helped the Pirates win 4 of their 9 National League pennants, their first World Series championship. All the while, he led the league in batting 8 times. RBIs 5 times, stolen bases 5 times, and played such a beautiful shortstop that despite a stocky frame and bowed legs, it was said you could roll anything through them except a ground ball.
I like that.
But, just another
that.
interesting footnote to all this, and Honus Wagner's accomplishments, are unparalleled. There's only one team in the major leagues that has won more batting titles than the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Yankees.
No, sir. It's the Detroit Tigers.
Oh, you said Detroit?
The Detroit Tigers.
That's the National League, you said.
No,
That's the
American
American. This is a Major League Baseball.
Wow.
The team with the most batting titles won was the Detroit Tigers, followed by the Pittsburgh Pirates.
I'd like to see
And I
some
think that was
evidence of
because of Ty Cobb and Honus Wagner.
Can I just say one thing before we go to Elavina Talking Machine? I used to buy my shoes at Honus Wagner.
Yeah.
Did we ever meet him?
My uncle worked there.
Did he pass away before we met him?
No, my uncle, you probably bought shoes off my uncle.
I sure did.
He was a big, heavy-set guy.
That's your uncle?
That was my uncle.
I used to buy shoes off him all the time.
Uncle Morris.
Big
guy.
And if there was a 10B, what year did Honus Wagner die, did they say?
It is not. I do not.
Okay.
I do not have that.
If there was a 10B, would you guys all agree that Dave Parker would have been on that list? 10B?
That's a tough one.
That's
Who would you have for your 10B?
Well, you see, when you give a top 10 list, there's
How about
only
11?
10.
How about 11
Yeah,
then?
so when you give
That's
a
my
top
lucky
10
number.
list, there's 10.
11's my
Okay,
lucky
there's
number.
not 11. I didn't say the top 11 Pirates of all time. I said the top 10.
But if you had to
How about
do a
15?
If you had to do a number
How about
11,
15?
if you guys had to
Well,
do a number 11,
I would have to do a statistical analysis. And
would Dave
right off
Parker
the
be
top of-
considered?
I might put Al
Dave,
Oliver
I
in
would
there.
say,
Ahead of
I would say,
Parker?
Maybe.
that would be
Al
a
was
very
that
strong.
good.
Al was that good. Yes, he was. I would put.
He wasn't
I
that
would
good.
definitely put
He was
Parker in
that
the top
good.
20.
You never saw him play.
You know, you're forgetting one thing about Dave Parker. Dave Parker almost single-handedly ruined the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise with the drug trials in the 1980s.
I don't believe
That has tarnished his
Yeah.
reputation, and it's probably one of the reasons why he's never been elected into the Hall of Fame.
We are family. He was sleeping with Sister Sledge.
He could
That
sleep
made
with
him a
whoever he
legend.
wanted.
That made him a
He
legend.
got caught snorting the right field line.
I don't believe that, man.
The first base side, he snorted the whole line all the
That's
way
what
out.
turned his eyes green.
Smoking Jim, you're not a true baseball fan. You got to look deep.
But before you go, would you consider him one of the all-time great Pirates?
I would consider him in maybe the top 15.
Yeah, that's why I
Where would y'all
said
rank Kutch? Top 25?
Kutch may be in the top 20, yes.
Before they backstabbed him out of here. But anyhow, go ahead. See.
You know, but I mean, you know, as popular as
Before
Kutch
they cut
was,
his hair.
no, his statistics don't stack up against the rest of these guys. When you look at the number of hits, career batting averages, number of RBIs, Kutch was a great player, and he helped to rejuvenate this franchise. You know, I don't know where the Pirates would be right now had he not been the type of a professional and a ball player that he was debuting in 2009. He gave us 9 great years, in which I'm going to forever be grateful. I will never say anything bad about him. But, you know, everybody wants to say, oh, he's the greatest of it. No, you have to look at the history of the whole team.
He was a credit to his race.
He was a credit to the city of Pittsburgh. He was a credit to the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Smoking Jim, you got any more questions?
Good job, Chip.
All right, thanks, Chip. I appreciate that. That top 10 was truly top 10.
That was.
He could designate my head.
On location, Smoking Jim, just relax. You're not a true baseball fan. Baseball's all about the statistics. You have to get some stats on Detroit. Get the Detroit Tigers. You'll find out about my man Arkey and other guys out
Really?
there. Yeah, and Ty Cobb.
Charlie
and-
Gehringer,
What?
Yeah, you'll find out there's other ball players.
Hank Greenberg.
Yeah. But that's okay, Smoking. On location next week, believe it or not, it's the birthday bash and Hall of Fame. Smoking Jim Frazier gets the only vote on the Pittsburgh Sportsline Hall of Fame. He got a great show coming up. I don't know who's getting inducted. I hear little bits and pieces. Olive Oil's Pizzeria, 930 Brookline Boulevard. Birthday bash. Bring any gift you want for Smoking Jim Frazier. He will accept all of them. That'll be in his trunk for inventory. He likes to have some good inventory. I'll get him a cake, so we'll get that cake clarified. I'll have a cake for him, and we'll cut some cake and get some Hall of Fames. Dan Bogan will be the ring announcer, announcing the people, and I'll do some interviews with him if he lets me, and we'll go from there. So we'll see. How many are coming in? How many, Smoking?
10.
10. 10 Hall of Famers. Unbelievable. Then we're on location on July 15th, Ray Schaefer Boxing Association right on Main Street in Sharpsburg. We'll be in the ring having guests coming out and talking to them. We have a guy who wrote a book on Billy Conn, Paul Kennedy, Tom Liturgy, the KSWA ring announcer will be there. Writer, he's an extraordinary type of guy. And we also have Ernie Keegan, who helped train Jose Carabello in his boxing career. and wrote a couple books. So we're going to talk about one of the books that he wrote. So then we got Joe Board's Boxing Club coming out. They'll be there. And maybe even another guest or two plus Jose. But that's on the 15th, July 15th, 2 days before Smokin' Jim's official birthday, which is truly, like I know, July 17th. He didn't realize we were born so close together because he has CTE issues, but we're working through those as we speak. But check that out. Then we got boxing on the 20th at the Bronson House in Washington, PA, a 5 o'clock starter that evening, Smokin' Jim. Did you hear me? 5 o'clock?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay, 5 o'clock in Washington, PA. Great historic place it is out there. We're honored that Skeets and the Conways invited us to come out and film and announce. So we'll have some fun out there. And then July 27th, Arnold's Tea, 502 East Ohio Street, couple blocks down from the Park House. We'll be doing a show at 2 p.m. on Saturday. So I have some guests lined up for that show. And that's what's going on in our on location type of thing. So we're out and about in the area. Come on out and see our shows and enjoy Smokin' Jim next Monday, the birthday bash and Hall of Fame. And we'll be back with some Bucko talk. Go talk. 18 runs, 23 hits. Two guys had 5 hits. Adam Frazier, who's Smokin' Jim's on the bandwagon again.
Tied a major league record with 4 doubles and would have had 5 doubles had not
Misplay.
the Cubs center fielder, Mr. Almora, who bobbled the ball and booted it away. So he turned his single into a double, but it was a single with a 1-base error. Wow. So, he was 5 for 5. And a Pirate has not had 5 doubles in a game since 1932. So
before
that's quite,
Smokin' Jim was born.
Quite at and do you realize that the Pittsburgh Pirates, through the month of June, as a team, batted .290.
Oh, yeah.
They led the major leagues in batting for the month. And then I heard Josh Bell, ever the humble player that he is, said that if it wouldn't have been for him, the team would have batted 300 for the month.
He had 208.
You think about what Al mentioned this earlier in the beginning. Josh Bell hit 4 home runs in the month of June. Well, on the first day of July, he hit 3 and had 7 RBIs. Wow. And that, regardless of what my dear friend to my left thinks, is a significant achievement. So far for the month, he's got 8 RBIs. He's already got 1 RBI tonight. But the Pirates, there's a lot of good things going on with the Pittsburgh Pirates. And, I listen to radio talk shows just to find out, what people are talking about. And I think the last thing in the world the Pirates want to do is start trading off players. I would stand pat with what we have because across baseball right now, everybody needs starting pitching, and the price for it is going to be so high. Mm-hmm. The Pirates last year, they had players in their minor league system that they could use as trade bait. Yeah. And they got rid of Austin Meadows. They got rid of Tyler Glasnow and Shane Baz. And so far, the return on that trade has been much in the favor of the Tampa Bay Rays. Yeah. And, and Chris Archer has been a huge disappointment.
Oh, tremendous.
Does he have the ability to turn that around? Mm-hmm. I hope that he does. But, you think about this, the problems that the Pirates have had with their pitchers, and there isn't a single pitcher on their staff that hasn't spent some time on the injured list this year. They're still 40 and 43. By all rights and purposes, they should be, like the Baltimore Orioles with 25 wins.
Yeah. Smokin' Jim's count the Buccos out already.
No, he counted them out. Yeah. He counted them out in February.
Yeah.
But, you've got a team that's got a lot of good things going for it. They're going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Look at Reynolds.
Brian Reynolds
He just set a record for rookies in the Pirate uniform.
National League Rookie of the Year, mark
Yeah.
my words. Kevin Newman is still technically a
Rookie.
A rookie, just came off of a 19-game hitting streak. He's batting over 300. And here's the interesting thing. He did not win the starting shortstop's job coming out of spring training. That went to Eric Gonzalez. Eric Gonzalez has got hurt, and they handed the starting shortstop job to Cole Tucker. And now Kevin Newman is firmly cemented as the starting shortstop. And when Eric Gonzalez comes back, I don't know where you play him. I think you put him
elsewhere
in Indianapolis, or maybe you use him as a trade piece to get you some type of pitching.
Sure.
I don't really see the Pirates making a major move.
I don't know. I'm sort of a little bit skeptical that Corey Dickerson, they may dangle him out there.
Well, they may dangle him, but here's what
we got trouble with all the outfielders. Like, where do you play these guys?
He's batting over 300 right now.
I know, but that's when he'd get top dollar.
Well, but you know what? If you're not going to get major league talent back from him, and here's what the problem is: if you trade Corey Dickerson, nobody's going to give you a major league caliber pitcher, and that's a trade is not out of the question. It's what is going to be the return on the trade,
But
and
I'm just
we're not going to
thinking
get
the way they are and maneuver different things around, he could be the guy out. Because we got these younger guys that are looking great.
Because, here's there's a huge question mark over Gregory Polanco.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's ever going to play here again. What about Francisco Cervelli? I don't know if he ever catches another game for the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He may be done.
So right now,
$11 million a year. That's
right
way
now.
too much.
You've got Elias Diaz and Jacob Stallings, who are doing absolutely fine. Stallings is a great backup catcher.
He's
and
unbelievable.
Diaz is making mistakes, but he's a young player.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a starting. He's
been the starter.
The Pirates have one of the strongest benches. They've got the best pinch hitting record of any team in the league right now. So a lot of good things going on.
Maybe in the history of baseball, the average has been way up there.
We'll see come the end of the year.
Yeah.
3 months does not a season make. It's only halfway.
Well, you can talk about it because they've done it.
We can talk about it, but they are doing it. So, I think that the pitching staff can get itself righted. We don't know what's going to happen with Jamison Taillon, but if you
he
think
could be done for the year too.
You think about the pitching moving forward. We could have another top closer being ready to pitch not this year, next. Edgar Santana, who went under Tommy John. Chad Cole is another starter with wicked stuff.
Great stuff.
Who's had Tommy John surgery, won't be available till next year. So there's a lot of positives going on with the Pittsburgh Pirates. A lot to look forward to.
We just got to find out why all these pitchers were getting hurt.
Well, I'm sure that they're looking into that.
Yeah, because, that's something you got to find out. You had great success with reclaiming pitchers and the young pitchers we had. Then this year,
the wheels fell off the bus
completely.
The wheels, but
every week.
You mentioned real quickly. You mentioned the new hitting coach, and I think that was one of the biggest moves the Pirates made over the winter. Was they fired their hitting coach, and they brought in Eckstein and his top assistant. His name's Cruz, and what they have done with the Pirates.
Tremendous.
Tremendous, and I think it's made a huge difference. And that's why the Pirates are in a contending position right now.
Contending?
Smoking Jim, what do you think?
No,
They're only 3.5 games out. What do you consider a contender?
No, I was just wondering if anybody watched the game when Garrett Cole came back.
No, I didn't see that game.
And how much I miss.
Yeah, how many batters did he strike out that night? 3?
He pitched a contact. He pitched a card.
We gotta end this show.
He doesn't know what that
Smoking Jim's out of control, always looking for something negative. Those glasses aren't just dark, his soul is dark. Look at that. Yeah. He doesn't see much, but thanks for watching our show. Hopefully we enlightened you a little bit. Don't forget next Monday, the Birthday Bash Hall of Fame.
And one thing those glasses aren't is rose-colored.
No. They're black as his heart. No problem. Please stay Joey strong.